Is that too dark? I don't know. Bear with me. Bonjour, my teacher today, Amber here. And why am I standing? I don't know. I just kind of felt like it today. But anyway, it is July. We've made it halfway through this year. My God. Let's recap a little bit. It's July, which means it is mid-year book freakout season. It's one of my favorite videos to do every year, just to sit down and talk about where we are reading wise at the middle point and like goals going forward for the rest of the year. I don't want to talk too long because I always say that and then proceed to continue introing the video for another 5 minutes. I'm not going to do that today because it's hot. I just turned the AC off to film this video. We are entering our 5th heat wave here where I live. Wow. Okay. Also, I had to turn the air purifier on because in my neighborhood there is a fire not too far from me, and we just received a smoke like warning or whatever. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to do this quickly. Let's get into the mid-year book freakout tag. This has been a staple on the bookternet, on booktube, basically since its inception. I don't think the original creator is still on the platform, but if I can find the video, I think I have it in like past videos that I've posted. I will link it below, as well as my other ones throughout the year. I might take a break, I might take a gap in videos, but I generally will always do a mid-year book freakout video. Yesterday I finished my 41st and 42nd books of the year, which for me, I'm way ahead of where I usually am this time of the year period, and I am having an interesting year. Some of these were a little hard to, I'm looking now, there are some that I still haven't answered because I still haven't been able to figure it out yet, so we're gonna figure this out together. Number 1, what is the best book you've read so far in 2026? I'm moving over a little bit because I'm gonna put the covers here. Easily my first 5-star of the year, my favorite book so far, is a sequel, so it's gonna come back up immediately after this question. It's Eternal Ruin by Tika Skarma, which is the sequel to Immortal Dark, which I think when I read Immortal Dark was also the answer for that mid-year book freakout. I love the series so much. I love these books. I think I said it before, if you want your dark academia dark, if you want black vampires, if you want enemies to something to really be enemies, and even when they're more something than enemies, there's still a lot of animosity, there's still a lot of push and pull. If you want such dark, complex, morally gray characters, ruthless, unapologetic characters, this is the book for you. If you want you want a black focused, black centered dark academia where the conflict is not racism, these are the books for you. This world is so well written, these characters are so well written, this story. Tickus wants me dead. Tickus wants me dead. Book 3 has been pushed to 2027. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Although I am kind of glad to put it off a little bit, because I am not ready to be done with this series. I'm not ready to let go. I'm not ready to move on. So number 2 is best sequel you've read so far in 2026. Standing up was a bad idea because I keep moving around and I'm really sorry. I'm gonna try. Best sequel you've read so far in 2026, obviously, like I already said, is Eternal Ruin. I'm not gonna go on a whole tirade about the book again, but I also wrote down The Missing of Claire de Lune by Christelle DeVoe, which is the second girl, which is the second of the Mirror Visitor Quartet. I think I was saying quartet too soon. The Mirror Visitor Quartet, which is translated from French. The first of which is A Winter's Promise, which I first read in 2021, and I finally started rereading the series, rereading the first book to finish the series. I only have one book left of that series, and I've been loving it so much. The Missing of Claire de Lune was such a perfect follow-up to A Winter's Promise. I love my little quirky little French books. I love seeing more of this world that Ophelia has been tossed into. I love the development of these characters and their relationships, and it's another one that I've been putting off reading for so long that I'm kind of dreading reading the last one, and I've been kind of putting it off a little bit. I am going to finish it before the end of the year. Possibly next month, who knows? Possibly next month. Number 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. So many. I'm behind with my new releases. I think of my 2026 anticipated releases list, I think I've read one. And now Back to You. So I'm so behind. But I absolutely need to read very soon The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Pham, our own Reads with Cindy. I do have an arc of that book that I intended to read, but still haven't gotten around to it. So I might just read the arc and stop waiting to get my physical copy, my like finished copy of it. But first of all, that cover's stunning. It's beautiful. I think I'm trying to like wait until I'm in the right headspace to read a book that really came from a place of depression and like ideation and whatnot. I know I just, it's so interesting. I feel like I've just been so locked in on this journey. I have been following this journey. I've been following Cindy since she first started on YouTube. We used to like comment on each other's videos a lot. So like, in the words of Miss Wendy Williams, she's a friend in my head. I just remember when she started the writing process and just watching all the vlogs, and so I'm like, that's my friend, go friend. She doesn't know we're friends, but we're friends. Anywho, also, The Ocean Would Paint Me Blue by xoxo, author of As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I love that book so much. I know this book's another book that I know is gonna hurt me because Lemon Trees destroyed me. Oh my god, that book is heartbreaking and beautiful and just all the things. And I'm just so excited to see what Zofa has done next. I have The Art of Loving You by Natasha Bishop, who is the author of Only for the Week, which is one of my favorite romances, and this is actually the second in that series. This one follows Micah, is that man's name? And Danny, who we meet in the first book. And this one's like, has a romance. This is like a second chance road trip. This one is a road trip. This is like a second chance romance. I'm just excited. I know. Oh, I wrote down The Red Winter by Cameron something or other, and this one is a retelling of the Beast of Chavardot. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's like a French werewolf story, sort of. I first learned about this creature in this folk tale, this legend in Teen Wolf, but this one is a queer, I think there's like a queer romance involved, and I haven't heard many people talk about it. But Gavin from Gavin Reads It All has really been gushing about it, and that just like even like intensified my interest in the book. Then I have Canon. I don't remember the author of that book, I'm sorry, but it's here. That one just sounds so intriguing, so like it's gonna be so entertaining. I think it's about two people. It's like gods put them on this mission against each other or something, to be like, it's like a contest between these two people to be like God's favorite or something. I'm probably getting that wrong, but also the cover's really getting me. Okay, number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have quite a few that I am really excited for. First off, as always, a BK Barson is going to be first. It's Grim Tidings, which is the second of the paranormal romance series. I forget what it's called, but the first of which was Good Spirits. That book, the book was everything to me. That book made me cry. A romance book, I don't fully all out cry a lot when I read romances, but so if that's anything like if this is anything like Good Spirits, I'm gonna need some help. In fact, the next 1, 2, 3 are also all romances. So I call the first 3 the big 3. Grim Tidings. Then we have Love Felt Like This by Julie Olivia, who is the author of what is that book called? If It Makes You Happy, my god, which I ate up last fall. That one's like a fall autumn romance that's set in 1997, and it's like Gilmore Girls vibes, and the the love interest, the main character is a baker, hot single dad baker. Yes, this one, Love Felt Like This, follows a children's like TV show producer, like puppeteer or something. Think PBS Kids, think Sesame Street, and she's trying to like save her, I don't know if it's just a show or the network, either way. And also this like single dad rock star who on the cover looks like Hosier. We're not classifying it as one of those weird Hosier romances, one, because Julie said that it's not based on him, but I am finding that I'm really liking single dads in my romance books, and I think they like end up going to he follows her up to like her mountain hometown or whatever, and they are writing music, I think, for this show. Anywho, then there's I think both of those come out in September, maybe all 3 of these, because next is Let's Kiss and Tell by Joss Richard, who is the author of, oh god, what is that book called? I love that book. It's different this time. Oh my god. Another autumnal romance. That one's set in New York. That's also another second chance romance. It follows our two main characters who were former roommates, and after like a rupture in their relationship, they both kind of go their separate ways. And after like 6 years, they're forced back together when their former landlord leaves them the brownstone. Anyway, this one, Let's Kiss and Tell, follows, I don't remember too much, but I know one of them, the main character, is like a sex columnist. That's what she is. And the love interest is a news reporter, and there's fake dating involved, and that's the weakness for me. And then we have The Case of Elmwood Ranch, which is a paranormal romance, paranormal sapphic romance. I don't really know much else about that. I just know one of them is a paranormal investigator and the other owns a ranch or a farm or something. And 2 of my favorite things, 2 of my dream careers: paranormal investigator and farm owner. Then we have A Snake Among Swans by Hannah Kaner, who is the author of the Fallen Gods trilogy, Godkiller, Sunbringer, Faithbreaker. I literally just finished that series in June and loved it. So I love the world she built. I love her writing style and her characters, so I'm so excited to see what comes next. I think this one's sapphic as well. We have Maisie Wood by Tananarive Due. I read my first Tananarive Due last October with not The Good House, that's the one that I'm reading this year, The Reformatory. That book wrecked me, that book destroyed me, that I have not recovered, so that is also why I keep pushing off reading The Good House. I'll probably read it in October. Well, I don't remember much about this. I believe the main character of this was a minor or side character, or is the child of a character from a former book that Tananarive has done. I have so many books to catch up with, but I think it's like a take on like predatory Hollywood or something like that, or maybe racism in Hollywood. Either way, I am so very on board and so excited to see in which ways Tananarive will hurt me this time. Then there's We Were Here. I want to find the full title. Give me a moment, please. It's called We Were Here, A History of Black People in Alternative Music. And as someone who's always been an alternative music girly and has gotten the absolutely boring, oh, you listen to white people music? Oh, you're trying to be white? Oh. I have to have this book. I have to read this book. It's nonfiction, obviously. As I prepare to go see Miss Haley Williams for my birthday in September. And then the last I have written down is It Looks Like You in the Dark, which is an indigenous horror, and I'm all about it. Give it to me right now. Number 5, let's speed this up. Biggest disappointment. Oh boy, I have a couple. The first of which is Dawn of the Firebird. That book was too pretty to be that bad. I'm sorry to say it. I had such high expectations going into it, especially because one of the comps is the Poppy War, and I had literally just finished the Poppy War trilogy. And I feel like I was insulted as well as R.F. Kuang. And it was very, look, I'm not gonna say anything too much, because one, the internet doesn't, I'm seeing the internet doesn't like it when people critique books. That is the current discourse at the moment. Not that I don't really care too much, but I just don't want to, I don't know, it was not good, and it was very repetitive, and it was just, also, I don't want to talk too much because I've seen that the author of that book and her, I think, sister or whatever, go after people who don't like the book on the internet, and I don't have the energy or the time. Not that she's going to see this. I also have The Dating Prohibition. I have talked at length about my issues with that book. Maybe I can't, like, off the top of my head, my brain just glitched. Maybe I'll find the clip and put it in here. She doesn't really, aside from him, she doesn't feel like she has the support of her family. She does, however, have the support of BJ, her brother's best friend, who she had a crush on when she was younger, and, you know, he is really gung-ho to help her and support her. He's always been really supportive of her. Obviously there's like a chemistry allegedly building between them. He puts a hard stop on it because he's like, I cannot risk the relationships that I've formed with your family if something goes wrong between us. Right. So my issue, back to what I was saying, I know they've known each other forever, and like I said, BJ is practically family. I just wish there was more build up to, I don't know, this alleged chemistry or the kind of like pull between them. Also, this writing in general just really isn't doing it for me. I feel absolutely nothing for this couple, nor between them. There really is, I keep saying allegedly because there is no chemistry between them, and I think it does come down to the writing. It just isn't clicking for me. It isn't doing it for me. It doesn't, like I said, there's no chemistry, there's no like sexual tension between them. They just feel like old friends, and then all of a sudden they're best friends who just decided to kiss, and then they're still just, you know, vibing. I don't know. It's just, I guess maybe the way, the communication, the way their characters, I don't know, it just, yeah. Okay, this next thing is a spoiler. So if that's something you care about, just skip ahead a bit. But them having sex, despite Kendra fully breezing past the set boundary, and then him showing up to the restaurant with another woman, seems so wildly out of character. But for someone who has been like this close confidant for so long, for someone who seems to care so much and supposedly like sees her so much and yada yada yada, and especially for someone who's so scared and concerned about being excommunicated from the family for even hypothetically hurting her. What are we doing? What are we doing? Speaking of the smutty bits, it's clumsy. It's written clumsily, and now that I've gotten that off my chest, I can continue reading this book. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I was ranting because it was like right after the character's first time having sex, and then the male love interest was being really weird. And honestly, after you discover why he's being weird, it doesn't make it any better. It kind of makes it even worse for me, truthfully. It just kind of makes it a little it makes I guess what happens after that feel a little icky. Anyway, so wrapping up my thoughts, I said, I really have to accept that not every book is going to change my life. Not every romance is going to give me butterflies and tug my heartstrings into all types of knots. Some books are books. I don't know why I wrote it down twice, but I said our books are books. And this was certainly a book. This is certainly a book. Sometimes I need to read books, specifically romance right now, because that is what I'm writing. That's what I'm working on at the moment. That will boost my confidence and rustle up some motivation that make me sit back like, huh, okay, so I can do this. If my book is finished, there will be an audience. So I am very appreciative of that fact, of that angle, that aspect. But I don't know, I part of me doesn't even want to keep this book. I'm never going to read it again. I probably would never recommend it to anybody. Like, in saying that makes it sound like it's such a bad book. It's really not. I think I would prefer it to have been like flat out bad. Does that make sense? But I don't know, it was clunky. It was a lot of it didn't make sense, like the setting of boundaries and then like immediate contradiction of all of that. It just felt like he was messing with her a lot. Nothing felt justified or validated or like there was any basis to it, truthfully. Even though I just mentioned comparing Dawn of the Firebird to Poppy War, I'm gonna put The Burning God up here as well. If you've seen my full spoiler vlog, you will know that I struggled with that book. There were many points where I almost DNF'd it. I just feel like it didn't need to do a lot of the things that it did. I understand why, or I understand look, like I said in that video, maybe down the line I will be able to have like separated myself enough to think about it more objectively and like as far as like plot wise, and not just how I felt and what I feel like it did to the story and the characters that I didn't agree with or really didn't enjoy. Okay, biggest surprise. I didn't write anything down for this. I don't know. I don't think anything really surprised me. If I have to say anything, maybe I'll say like Of Orcas and Men, which was one of the books I read for my whale curriculum, my personal curriculum, and I really did enjoy reading that book. I love orcas. Orcas are my favorite whale, my favorite animal, one of my favorite animals, has been the majority of my life. So I just really like love learning about them as a species and like different stories about whale orca encounters, or even like folklore and legends surrounding orcas. I just really enjoyed how it was written, and maybe it's also because I didn't read it all at one go. I kind of spread it out, so it was more enjoyable that way. So maybe I'll go with that. I thought it was going to be like a strictly scholarly, factual, kind of boring read. Okay. Number 7 is favorite new author, whether a debut or just new to me. I didn't write anything down for this. Most of the books that I've read this year that would be considered for this are authors that I have read from before. So I don't know how to answer this question. Maybe Sangu Mandana, I'll say. I read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. That was maybe one of the first books that I read this year, and I really enjoyed that. It was just such a cute, comfy, cozy read, and I still am very eager to read the second book. Oh, actually, to go back to biggest surprise really quick, I might actually say People We Meet on Vacation, because I read Beach Read last year and I went in with very high expectations, and for me that book was just fine. I enjoyed the experience of reading the book a bit more than reading the book, or a bit more than the book itself. I was at the beach. I was actually at the beach again when I read We Meet on Vacation, but I really enjoyed that book. The movie not so much. So maybe because of where my expectations had shifted after beach read, I was surprised by how much I did in turn actually enjoy that. Okay, number 8, newest fictional crush. That's always a difficult answer for me. It used to be even more difficult when I read mostly YA, because I'm like, I'm a grown-up. I'm going to go with xoxo, Carrion Crow from the Between Earth and Sky books, specifically Favorite Star and Mirrored Heavens, the second and third book. It's another series I completed in June. I reread the first 2 books and then read the third, but the first time I read Favorite Star, it was kind of like a meh experience. That book is very much a bridge to the third and final book, so I really didn't pay attention to his character. And I don't know, just something, reading it this time around, I became very attached to xoxo and very invested in everything he was going through in those books, and the journey and all the things that he was put through. Another little crow boy to put in my pocket, because Serapio was already there. So I couldn't say Serapio because I have loved him since the first time I read book 1. Newest favorite character. I did not write anything down because I don't know. I haven't, like, as far as new characters, I have not like really attached or really cared about any of the characters that much to call them a favorite. I have a lot of favorite characters in the books that I've read this year that I already loved because they are from series that I have been reading. So let's move on. Number 10, a book that made you happy, is actually the book I finished reading last night. I have been reading this month, why did I say it like that? This month, I have been rereading my middle school favorites. So first of all, that in general has made me very happy this month. But yesterday, I read it in like 2 days. I finished reading Esperanza Rising. Y'all don't know me and Esperanza, we like this. I've reread the book several times, and I just felt so warm and like fuzzy to be rereading a book that meant so much to me at like a kind of pivotal time. Like, that age is a very pivotal time in your life, and just for some reason, even if I don't like fully remember what goes on in the books that I've read this month, just for some reason the love that I had for books at that time period have stuck with me more than just about like any other book that I've loved, like era in my life. So even if like I read them now and they don't hold up, I don't love them as much as I did, it's just like they still stuck with me for a reason. But Miss Esperanza, I love that book. I love that book, and I just felt so, I don't know, so yeah, even just like the fact, like I said, that I'm reading a book that was a favorite of mine for a very long time, that just made me happy. And I just needed this right now. I needed this moment right now. I'm kind of upset that I'm filming this right now, because the final book of this TBR is a book I still consider like top of my favorite books of all time list, and I haven't started it yet. I actually still have to find my copy of the book, because I have 3 copies now actually, but one is a collector's edition, so I'm not going to read that. But it's The Two Princesses of Bamar, so I'm going to put that as an honorable mention, because just the fact that I'm going to be reading that book this week is making me very happy. I love that book so very much. I have read I keep saying that that was the Hunger Games before the Hunger Games, where that was the book I read the most from like middle school to maybe early mid high school. Anytime I didn't have anything else to read, I'd just pick it back up and reread it. So I know that book. That book is weaved in my DNA. So that's going to be an honorable mention. Book that made you cry. Hamnet. I read Hamnet. Did I read it in June or May? May. It was May because it was right before I went away. I read the book in like 2 days, and then I watched the movie. Give Jessie Buckley another Oscar. I know I'm late. I know she already won an Oscar. Give her another one. Give her another one. I don't care. Give her one for me. Now that I'm on board. Wow. And I think watching the movie directly after, like, that whole experience was a lot for me emotionally. Wow. We all know I'm a Shakespeare girly. We all know I have always had a fascination with that time period, that era. That is a reason why I love the Ren Fair so much. That's actually where I found out that Queen Elizabeth and I, our birthdays are like 2 days apart. Queen Elizabeth I, obviously. In fact, a lot of the landscapes and scenery when watching the movie Hamnet, I'm like, oh, that just looks like the Ren Fair. Okay. Anyway, somehow I didn't even, for the longest time, I didn't put together that this book was based on the life of William Shakespeare, or I guess a fictionalized version of William Shakespeare and his family, or else I would have picked it up a long time ago. I don't know why I thought it was just like a spoof of Hamlet. I didn't realize that it was about Willie Shakespeare's son and the loss of said son, or else, like I said, I would have read it ages ago. The book wasn't as much of a traumatic experience as the movie. That movie is beautiful. That movie is just, oh wow. I get why it swept at all the award shows. I understand. At first I was like, because I'm a Sinners girly. So I was like, what's going on? What's going on here? What's going on here? Huh? But I get it. And I support it, truthfully. I also wrote down Eternal Ruin. If you know, you know. There were some points. Like I said, Tiggis wants me dead. Number 12. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year was another tough one. I don't know, but I guess I'm gonna go with Miss Faithbreaker. These covers for these books are stunning, and the cover of the first book is what got me into the series. The cover of God Killer is beautiful. And I can't take enough pictures, or at the time of it, and the other two books have just perfectly followed suit. That's the most beautiful book I have bought this year. I did list a few cover buys just based on some like really cool or kind of like weird covers that drew me to the book. I'm just going to list them kind of rapid fire. We have Vanishing World, Ghost Roots, The Queer Thing About Sin, which I recently read, and Playing Wolf. Okay, last but not least, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. Am I slacking on my 26 books to read in 2026? Yeah. Yes, I am. Mind your business. But some priority. I guess, no, they're not the only priority, but I didn't want to list the whole list. So I have The Picture of Dorian Gray. I did get the uncensored version. I was meant to read it in June. I also felt it was like too soon. I had just finished Moby Dick in May, and I just still felt like it was very soon to go into another classic. So hopefully August or September. No, September is August, or at some point before 2027 I'm gonna read that book. Then I have The Jasad Heir, which I finally have a copy of. I also finally have a copy of The Obelisk Gate, which I do think I'm gonna read in August. I have The Obelisk Gate and The Stone Sky is the third one. I finally got a copy. I'm like, you know what, just rip the band-aid, get both books, and then you can just decide whether or not you're gonna go into the next one, because you'll have the book and you won't have to wait. I have Interview with the Vampire. The season finale of The Vampire Lestat is coming up this coming weekend. That book, that show. I have had an interesting relationship with the concept of Interview with a Vampire. The 90s movie terrified me as a child, and I spent the rest of my life hating Tom Cruise but specifically Brad Pitt. And you know what? Don't ever question me. I'm never wrong about people. I'm never wrong about people, because yeah, I was right. Anyway, it wasn't clearly my what is it called? Discernment was seeing past just him being a vampire. I was seeing his soul, you know? Anyway, for the longest time, was not interested. It just dredged up things I didn't want to think about. But then the show came out. And here's the thing. I was a Grey Worm girly, you know? So when I saw Jacob Anderson in A New Thing, looking how he's looking, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, bonjour, mon petit chou-fleur. But I still didn't watch the show because I didn't have AMC, but actually I did at the time. I did. Anyway, but then obviously all the clips going around, I'm like, why is this French one screaming all the time? What's going on? So eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna watch the show. And now it immediately became a comfort show. I rewatch it all. I rewatch the first 2 seasons constantly. Justice for Claudia. Justice for... I need to find me a Lestat, because I want to recreate the costumes from the ball from season 1. Obviously I'd be Claudia, but I don't know anyone cool enough to pull off a Lestat. Lestat sounds better. But anyway, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, which is going to be read in September. I was supposed to do my Isabel Cañas themed vlog in, was it May or June? But so Isabel Cañas has a her YA debut this year, which I didn't realize until I had already plotted when I was going to do my Isabel Cañas TBR. And then I said, oh, it's coming out in September, so I'll wait till September. Did not realize that it's coming out the second to last day of September, so I could have just done the vlog, but now it's been pushed to September. Anywhoooo. Also, the day that the book comes out, I will be on a train coming home from Salem, Massachusetts. But I will be reading The Hacienda soon. And then I have The Good House by Tenerife Dew, which we've already talked about. So that's where I'm at as of July 15th, 2026. I almost said 2027. Let me know in the comments the best, honestly the best and worst. I want to know. I want to talk on it. I want to know the tea. Books you have read so far this year, or anything you're looking forward to reading for the rest of the year, or yeah, or you know what, just, I don't know, leave whatever you want. I don't know. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and how, even despite how all over the place I am right now, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.